Welcome to the Sophia Chang Show. Welcome to MOG Awareness Month. So March is MS Awareness Month. That's multiple sclerosis for you plebes. And MOG is it's a cousin disease, I like to call it. Just like NMO, it's a demyelinating disease, which means disease that wreaks havoc on your CNS, your central nervous system. Or in plain speak, as I like to call it, the worst fucking thing that's ever happened in my adult life. So what's the central nervous system? Glad you asked. I had no idea until I got a disease of it. Apparently, the central nervous system is your spinal cord and your brain. So, if you have lesions on your brain and your spinal system, your whole body falls apart. Oh yeah. Yeah. God hates me. Since nobody knows what MOG is because it's so new, I have declared March anti-MOG month. What does that stand for? Anti is the antibodies, and MOG stands for myelin oligodendrocyte glycoprotein. Yay! These words mean nothing. They actually are really important for your brain function, as I discovered. So I haven't talked a lot about MOG. You know, I'm very open about having it, and there's a lot of reasons I don't speak about it. Number one is everybody who's in MS is so punch faceable, okay? They're face punch people. They're all about the positive, like, I have MS, MS doesn't have me. And I'm like, motherfucker, MOG has me, okay, baby? Like, morning to night. I was starting an amazing career as an aerial instructor. I was a dance acrobat. Do you even know how much it takes to be a dance acrobat in your freaking 30s? I was bomb ass. I was also starting a career as a wedding choreographer, which combines two of my favorite things, weddings, which I probably will never have now, and choreography. I have the ability, I think I still do, I have the ability to get even stiff Asians in looking like Cinderella swans by the end, okay? Yeah, I bibbity bobbity boo that shit. I am like the, Brian Freeman of, if you guys watch So You Think You Can Dance, I'm the Sonia, what's her name? Sonia Taye of wedding choreography. And all of that came crashing down when I got this goddamn disease that stuck me in a fucking chair. A wheelchair. It wasn't just, oh, I have some aches and pains. Oh, I keep falling. Like, no, I'm in a fucking wheelchair. Do you know what life is like? It's horrible. I'll tell you what it's like. It's horrible. And that's the thing. MS people, they don't tell you that. A lot of them are just like, it's so lovely. I have my electronic chair. I go hiking. I'm like, hiking? I can't even leave my house by like, what? I couldn't even get out the door. I can't even do this step, right? We had to like do this whole thing where I have to go out the back door, wheel around, I have to make sure there's not like a branch in the way. And I didn't even have the strength because you lose a lot of muscle mass and you get really, really weak. I didn't even have the strength to really push my own chair. It wasn't one of those transport chairs. Like you see all those people. Oh my God, the Paralympics. Oh, hell no. That makes me so pissed off. I was not Paralympic at all. I have no more butt. That was another thing. My ass was gone. I was one of those Asian girls. They call me AGWB back in college. Asian girl with boobs. I also had an ass. That's right. That's right, people. T and A on this little tiny Asian body. You bet your ass men were looking at me. Are men looking at me now? No. Why? Because I have typical Asian ass. Now it is a flat piece of skin hanging down the back that I spent maybe 8 months covering, buying tunics so that no one would have to be subjected to the atrocity that is my ass. Now, I've worked really, really hard, okay? You don't, I always say this because this is the proudest thing. You don't graduate from Harvard at the age of 20. without working your ass off and having the kind of work ethic that pretty much guarantees you will get an autoimmune disease when you're older. No, that's not why. Don't worry. Don't go and be a slacker smoking weed on the couch thinking now that you won't get an autoimmune disease. That's not why. But I worked really hard to get out of that wheelchair, and it was not easy. It was not overnight. I was very depressed. I had suicidal thoughts. Like, my story is not a pretty story. The story of chronic pain and of blood, sweat, and tears, of all your friends abandoning you, of people you thought were your friends or not really, of people bullshitting you to your face all the time, people giving you annoying, useless advice like, just think positive. You'll thank God for this. I almost punched a church lady. I was just kind of like, you did not just call me becoming crippled a blessing. I think you need to leave the vicinity of my earth right now. Not to mention the emotional effects, the heightened anxiety, the fact that I already had spidey senses and now they are out of control. Like, I've always hated the sound of a crying baby, and now it goes right through my ears. Like, if you watch me in a restaurant, you'll see a little trickle of blood coming out of my ears. When you have a demyelinating disease, it strips the myelin sheath off of your spinal cord. Guess what? The myelin sheath protects the nerves. You need that. When you have bare nerves touching things, everything hurts. Your pain is just out of control. Every step you take is like, kill me now and kill me fast. You feel hot when something cold touches you. It feels like something burns you. Like, literally, I think I dropped like a cucumber on my thigh once and screamed because it hurt. It felt like somebody had branded me. If somebody scares me, if somebody kind of startles me, I kind of get a crick in my neck. Things have gotten a lot better, but that's what it was like when the disease first expressed itself in all its crippling glory. This is why I will never be asked to be one of those shiny, happy white people spokespersons for any kind of demyelinating disease, because I don't toe that party line. Instead, I tell the truth. And the truth is so ugly, you would have nightmares even while you were awake. Your eyes would be open and you'd be like, oh gosh, I can't deal with this. You would have killed yourself. I tell this to people who are much not as strong as me. Like, I had a lot of suicidal thoughts. You would have straight up just been like, take me. I'm offering myself, as tribute to the gods that hate me, because that's how bad it is. You want to boycott me for making light of my own suicidal thoughts? Go for it, man. That's what the unfollow button is for. But that's how bad it is. There's nothing pretty about this. There's nothing pretty about shitting your bed because you no longer have control over your bowels. There's nothing pretty about people that you went to college with who were like, oh yeah, we're gonna be friends for life, not talking to you anymore. There is nothing pretty about calling the suicide hotline and being put on hold for so goddamn long that you have to hang up and just call a friend because you're like, what is going on? If I had a gun, I would have offed myself until then. These are serious topics that nobody wants to tell the truth on. Nobody wants to hear the truth on. It scares people, and that's a problem. Because I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one who's suffering silently, who has no voice, who has to hear all these annoying BS things that people who have no idea what you're going through want to say to you. I know I'm not alone in the isolation. You think COVID is bad for your social life? Try getting in a wheelchair. Nobody wants to come and hang out with you then. Try seeing what happens to your body. Try seeing what your face looks like after chemo. Try used to working as a model and an actor and being known for being beautiful, and then seeing just a crop of white hair come out from every time you get chemo. Try all these things things. Try all these things, and seeing that pain that you live through 24/7 and the lack of compassion that you get when you go outside. And you tell me you would have handled this in any way other than to just want to go out of your mind. Yet, for some reason, all you see on the cover of magazines, and I'm not even going to name this organization because I hate them so much. I think they do more of a disservice for our disease than a help. Come at me, bro. I will take you on. You see these covers of these magazines, and you'll see like these people, and they're like playing tennis. Like, yeah, right. Like, I can't even carry a racket for more than 5 minutes without being like, ow, and now I'm going to have an MS hug for the rest of the day. Fuck you very much. You know, or even the people who are in wheelchairs are like popping wheelies down the sidewalk, all having the greatest time. That is not my reality, and it is not the reality of those of us who are disenfranchised. So this podcast is for you guys, the ones who are suffering in the trenches like me, who don't want to be pretty about it, and who don't appreciate the pressure from society for us to be what I call the noble cripple. I am not your noble cripple. I'm not going to tell you a happy, sunny story. You're going to have to go look at the bullshit online. On Instagram has a ton of it. Go for it. But if you want to hear the real story, this is it. And unfortunately, no one else is talking about MOG, so all you got is me. Aren't you lucky? If you've got antiMOG and you need someone to talk to, feel free to drop me a line on Twitter. I don't go on social media very much, as you can see by my recent episode, Digital Minimalism. However, I do check on occasion. And I'm not an expert, but I will be able to give you some of the resources that worked for me. Now, if you're a normie who wants to help out, there are over 1 million of us with demyelinating disease across whether it's MOG, MS, or NMO, and we don't get that much funding, and it's not super, super high priority. So every little bit counts. I would recommend MSAA, the Multiple Sclerosis Association of America. They provided me my first cooling products, which I can tell you save my life. A lot of us have extreme heat sensitivity, and we really wouldn't even be able to leave the house once the weather goes above a certain temperature that is a lot lower than you think. So I'm appreciative of them for doing that. I'd stay away from that other organization that is just a pile of bull poo-poo. But MSAA, they do real stuff. So I'll drop a link below, and we really welcome all the support. And of course, the easiest thing you can do is pass this podcast on to people who have MS, NMO, MOG, or any other kind of autoimmune or chronic illness who is tired of hearing happy, shiny stories.